real is this? Love the Anzacs, we all love the Anzacs. Screaming April 20.
Yo, what up, Cash fam? My name is Matthew Craig, and you're watching AUD, Australia's Hip Hop Connect. Make sure you're hitting that like and subscribe button down below, because we're consistently bringing you the best artists, both domestically and from around the globe. And today, our guest, I'm really privileged to be talking to him. He is without doubt one of the most powerful voices in Australian music today. I had the pleasure of meeting this guy maybe 3 or 4 years ago for the first time at Big Sound, and just watching his development and going strength to strength the last few years has been amazing, based both on his talent and his authenticity. He's been nominated for a National Indigenous Music Award, Triple J Award. Last year, he was nominated for Album of the Year for Black Thoughts with the Australian Music Prize. It was an incredible independent release, confronting commentary on racism that was released independently, and that we at AUD has named as our Must Listen project of 2020. You've seen him across TV, the ABC, Q&A. He recently performed at the Sydney Opera House, and this weekend he's performing at BLAKTIVISM live at the Sidney Myer Music Bowl across some incredible First Nations talent, Yothu Yindi, Tasman Keith, Barker. It's going to be an incredible event, and we're lucky to be a part of it. And talking to him today, Ziggy Ramo, welcome to AUD, Australia's Hip Hop Connect, my bro. How you doing?
Yeah, better after that. Wow, thank you so much, man. All the pleasantries and so humbled. It's crazy. Like, you just brought up Big Sound, man. Like, that feels almost like a lifetime ago, but also not that far back, you know. And it's been a ride, but just been keeping on, man. But yeah, happy to be here and a pleasure to chat with you, man.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Yeah, you're right. Big Sound feels like yesterday, but also so many years ago, and so much has happened into the last few years, bro. How are you sitting 2021? Obviously 2020 was a crazy year on all fronts. Where are you sitting at right now? Like, but life-wise, music-wise, how are you feeling?
Man, I took like a dip, like back into 2020. I think it all just kind of hit me. Like, I felt like there was a lot of ups and downs for a lot of people, and I think like my mental health kind of took a bit of a dip, but I kind of put in the work and have been able to take a bit of time and come out of that. So I'm kind of in a place now where I'm just really grateful, honestly. Like, I'm creating and I'm starting to be able to perform again, like with people, and just connect with people like through art. It's honestly so humbled to be able to do it, and especially, you know, as you said, like, I'm an independent artist and I try and be authentic to myself. So like, the fact that I can make art that's just me being myself and being true to myself, and people are connecting and resonating with that, and that's allowing me, you know, to have an income and to be able to just keep trying to make stuff that I think is important and real. Yeah, so like, I'm in a way, like, I'm in a really good place. Like, I'm just thankful, you know. I feel like that's so cliche and corny, but yeah, it's where I'm at.
No, that's cool, man. That's cool. And I've got to be honest, it comes through in your music, man. As you say, you just try and be as humble and as honest and as vulnerable and as authentic as you can be. And you hear that on a project like Black Thoughts. And as we said, we named it our Must Listen project of last year for our followers. And it was just an incredible body of work. And what gets me, man, is that you wrote that 4 or 5 years ago, and it was just so relevant last year, sorry. Can you please take us a little bit into your writing process, and then how it came about that you went last year, okay, now's the time to get it. Now's the time that the world needs to hear this.
Yeah, it was such a weird, like, I don't know, like, journey with it all. Because like, the actual writing of the project kind of happened over 2015 or 2016. I always get my years mixed up. Like, my memory is terrible. But yeah, I met J Cal, who's a producer, and he's like doing management stuff now, based in Perth, WA. And when we connected, we kind of just like met at the perfect time, like, where we both like been putting like a lot of work in our own craft and just trying to like master what we do. You know, because I kind of really started trying to do music in about 2010 when I was like 15. That was when I was like, it hit me, and like, I knew that this is what I wanted to do. So I spent like 5 years just kind of lost in my room, just like trying to get good. Like, I just wanted to be good, you know, like, not even good, like, I wanted to be great, like, lyrically and musically. I just wanted to be great. Like, I just wanted, especially, you know, like, I think growing up Indigenous, like there's that like, you know, I didn't want to be good for an Indigenous person. I wanted to be just good. I wanted to be great.
Yeah,
And I felt like I always had that chip on my shoulder of, you know, like wanting to rise above everything. And so I felt like with my music, I had that same kind of approach. And so I spent like 5 years like before I really ever did anything, just like working on it. And then when J. Cal and I met, he'd kind of been going on the same journey, but like on the production front. And so we met, and it was like, I felt like I'd spent enough time like learning the craft of it, and now I was at a point to find my voice like as an artist. And that to me was like being able to actually understand like what I wanted to talk about. And for me, it was just like, you know, being authentic and just sharing like my lived experience and what's real. And it just kind of, it just happened like really organically. And it was a really weird time in my life. Like I was studying at uni at the time, but I was really like struggling with my mental health, and I ended up kind of hospitalized. And like a lot of the writing process kind of happened in hospital because, I don't know, like for me, I guess it was like, I didn't think I was ever going to be understood, and I didn't feel like people were going to be ready to hear it. And I felt like, well, if I'm not going to be here, I at least want like my art and my understanding to be. Wow. So I just wanted to capture that. And I just kind of put it all down in that album. And then, you know, like with my own mental health, I went through like a lot of therapy, a lot of counseling, and started to like come to a place where, you know, not being so weighed down by that, and coming to a place of like self-acceptance. And, you know, you can't control other people. You can only control your own actions, and just trying to, I guess, like, you know, lead by my own actions instead of like worrying about other people. And so it just sat there, like the record was finished, and it just sat there like like I literally mastered it. Like I was so green, like I didn't really know much about like, the industry, and like I literally mastered it on like some like internet thing that like masters it. It's so funny as well, like because I feel like, you know, a lot of ways like it just captures like where I was at. And so then it was an album that like I would go back and listen to at like time to time, like when I felt like I needed to hear it. But it wasn't, you know, when I like, because I was having different meetings with like different labels and like different industry people, and like I kind of show them and stuff, but people just didn't get it. And the thing that I started to understand was that like, you know, people haven't lived it, so they don't understand the importance of it, you know. And I started understanding as well, it's like I disagree with what's going on for like the last 200 years and what's happening now. So like I can't expect people to agree like if they haven't lived it and if they don't understand it. So like I think I used to think like, oh, all these industry people, like they don't get me, this or that or the other. And then, you know, for me it was just finding my feet as an artist and starting to understand like, for me, self-determination is so important. So I didn't want to just like try and give up my self-determination. You know, I wanted to build something not only for me, but, you know, hopefully try and build a platform for many voices. And so I was just kind of like going through all that process, and like, so 5 years kind of, you know, like doing big sound stuff, doing like different things, like chipping away at it. And I just had that album in the back of my mind, but like at the same time I just didn't know, like, and I also like, I think there was a part of me that really like I wanted it to be heard and I wanted it to be understood, and I hadn't come to a place where I was just ready to let that go. And then I fast forward to like 2020, and you know, like obviously with the murder of George Floyd, I started seeing like just like the dialogue that started happening in Australia, like talking about like institutionalized racism as if it was at a distance and as if it didn't happen here. And like for me, it wasn't about like jumping on a bandwagon and being like, oh, like this is like what's hot now, like so I got to make an album about it. It's like, well, I'm seeing you all say like Black Lives Matter, so like I want to at least give you like the perspective and the understanding of like a Black life in your own country. So then it was really weird. Like I went back and listened to the album, and this was like a few days before like the kind of national marches, and and I just heard it in a different way. And I just like, I heard it in a way I was like, I don't care if people get it. Like, I care that it's out, and I care that I'm being true to myself. And I felt like I was at a point now, like where I'd built things and built an understanding of the industry that I was like, I can just do this independently and I can just get it out there. And
100.
and it's like, it's, yeah. So I just like very long-winded version of it, but it just, there was a lot of plays like at Factor, but like in that moment, I just knew it was right. And I just knew it was supposed to be out, and I just let go and put it out.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah, I like what you said there as well about like, you got this chip on your shoulder. And I want to dive into that a little bit more, because even though the timing felt right and it felt like Australia's maybe coming around, I want to just jump into that, the ABC Q&A incident, and see that no matter what, it feels like there's still a cap. You speak about self-determination. Yeah, there you are on national TV, about to perform, and you can't even perform the song you want, April 25th, which arguably is one of the most powerful tracks released in the last several years in this country. How did that feel in that moment? Where was your head at about like, yes, it's great, I finally get this platform, but also I don't even have the determination to perform what I want here?
Yeah, well, that's like the whole catch, right? It's like, it's not just about like a seat at a table. Like, I don't want to seat at a racist table. Like, I don't want to seat where there's institutionalized racism. Like, I want to, and for me, I feel like because I'm independent and because I am self-determined, what's so important is whenever I enter a space, I have to continue to enter it as myself. So like, if I go on Q&A and I just like be the Black person that they want me to be, then like it undermines everything that we're fighting for. So I think when I was in that space, like obviously, you know, like it's like, it was like my first like real big like speaking thing on national TV and stuff. But you know, as much as confusion and whatever that I felt, like it just wasn't really a question, because it's like, you know, it wasn't pressure. It wasn't like, pressure is like people in my community dying, you know. It's like, if I just gotta like sit on TV and be honest, like that's like the smallest thing that I could do. You know, and for me, it's like never wanting to speak on behalf of my community or speak on behalf of any other people, because I can only speak on my lived experience. But I do also really understand the privilege that I have, that I'm able to navigate these spaces so that I can enter any room as myself, you know, because I know when I sit on Q&A, I have the ability to articulate things that, so that it can't be misconstrued. It can't be like turned into like, oh, it's just this angry, dumb Black person. It's like, I know I have the ability to articulate that, whether it's through talking or through my music. Like, so for me, it's like, it's not a question. Like, it's just like, and for me as well, man, it's like, it's really clear. Like, it's just like right and wrong. And like, if people don't agree with me, or like they're not at a place of understanding, like I can't judge that, because everyone's on their own journey. But like, for where I'm at in my life and with my understanding, like those kind of things, it's just really clear. It's just like, you know, like how can we, you know, support like freedom of speech, but then like an Indigenous person isn't allowed to tell their truth? And yeah, like I get like some people might see it as like, oh, it's just like someone complaining and this or that, but it's like, it's because of like, you know, the ABC is government funded by taxpayers, and we Indigenous people are taxpayers. So if it's a government funded platform and I, your employee, am not allowed to speak my truth on that platform, like it undermines everything that it's supposed to be. So I don't know, man. Like for me, it was just as simple as like, I just got to be true and be honest. And that's always what I'm going to try and, you know, navigate spaces and be guided by. Just trying to be real, you know?
Yeah, and daps on that, man. I think that's incredibly inspirational for other minorities, whether it be Indigenous people, you know, other people of color, migrants, refugees in this country, like can learn so much from how you've navigated these spaces. And I guess on that journey, like what are some of the lessons that you've learned? I guess 5 years ago, you're creating this project, you're battling with mental health. You're now 5 years down the track and have made tremendous inroads in a million areas of your life. If you could sort of talk to 2016, 2017 Ziggy, what would you say? What would you let him know? And how could that, I guess, be portrayed to other young people going through similar struggles?
For sure. I think it's self-acceptance, you know. It's like, as you were saying, like there are so many demographics in our current society that experiences oppression, you know, like whether that's migrants, whether that's based on gender, sexuality, race. Like there are so many of us that are feeling the symptoms of a oppressive system, you know. And I think when I was younger, like I had that chip on my shoulder being like, I've got to prove that system and the gatekeepers wrong, that I'm a good Black person and I'm this and I'm that, and I've got to be great. And it's like now I'm at a point where it's like I don't have to prove anything to anyone except myself. And it's like, so I think the biggest learning curve, like through all my mental health, through all my music, through everything, it was just starting to like, because I feel like, right, when you are young and you're like forced into those spaces of trying to navigate them, like you learn how to code switch and you learn how to wear different hats, and you know, you learn how to be like the nice person or like the jokey, exactly, right. And it's like I just want to be myself. And so for me it took like a lot of unlearning of like removing those hats and just being and allowing to like show that to everyone else. And that's like a really like, that doesn't happen overnight, you know, like that's a long process for everyone. So I think for me, like that advice that I give of what I've learned is like, there's no one else like us, you know, as individuals. Like we are obviously a collective society, but we are also individuals. And I think it's just owning who you are and showing up for yourself and being true and authentic and trying to share that with people, because I think we rely on connection, and I feel like we can only be connected like genuinely when we like show who we are to people, you know.
Yeah, that's dope, bro. That's a powerful word to reflect on. And on that note about just being yourself, like must be cool to have this opportunity to play at BLAKTIVISM this weekend, like an incredible showcase put on by First Nations people like yourself, Barker, Yothu Yindi, Taz McKeith, an incredible lineup. You looking forward to that? And give us some thoughts on what people can expect at that event.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Like, and that's, I think having spaces like BLAKTIVISM is so important, because it's not like one voice that's going to solve this, you know. And that's the thing, is because we're individuals. So I think what's been so inspiring, you know, seeing artists like Tasman and Barker, like we all have stories that cross over, and there are like similarities, but at the same time, like the way that we approach our art and the way that we use our voices are completely independent and completely unique. And that's, you know, when I see artists like Tasman and Barker, like I've seen people who have gone through that journey of like self-acceptance and like showing themselves. And I think like to be able to come together, like, and create something together, like where there are going to be like many First Nations voices amplified and like many perspectives shared, like I think that's so beautiful, because I feel like art, you know, for like the majority of non-Indigenous Australians, like you're not going to live what we live. So yes, you might not have that understanding, but I feel like art like allows people to like emotionally connect to our perspective in a different way. Because I feel like, and that's like really for like my set, what I'm trying to do like at BLAKTIVISM and when I perform, I think, you know, I can talk and intellectually explain what we're on about. But I think when I perform and when I am able to share my music, I can give you like the emotional connection and the feeling, because when you connect to it emotionally, it's like, oh, that's a human. Like that's a human who's experienced trauma. That's a human who's fighting for human rights. Like, and so I think having many different voices like at BLAKTIVISM and being able to perform, like it's allowing people to connect emotionally to us as people.
Yeah, man. It's music's such a powerful tool that sometimes we forget how lucky and fortunate we are to operate in this space that can translate outside of words, outside of intellectual conversations. I mean, and just on that human connection. Yeah, that's big, bro. That's big. What does the future, short term, medium term, look like for you in terms of musically, man? Is there anything we can expect on the horizon?
For sure, man. I mean, the beauty of holding on to the album for 5 years means like you've had a bunch of time to work on stuff in the meantime. So I've been working on music. I'm always working on music. I have a project that's in the works. I don't know, like date wise or anything. I'm kind of someone who I just kind of go on gut and feel. Like when I feel like it's ready, like it'll come. And then in like the immediate future, I have a song that's kind of like a standalone song that's going to be coming that I'm pretty excited for. I mean, I can't share too much because it's just wild, but like whatever you're expecting, like throw all of that away because it's like it's going to be so. It's pretty random, but I'm really excited, and I'm kind of going to be it's going to be like my directorial debut. I'm doing some like a visual thing with it that I'm like, man, I'm so excited to share with people. Kind of trying to level things up and just just trying to create like. And I think for me as well is like with art, it's just like I feel like I'm a kid in a candy store, man. Like just being able to explore myself and explore my ideas and better understand them, and then being able to share that with people. So I'm just future is just like and outside of music, you know, like all mediums, I'm just trying to explore, and because that's the thing is like everyone understands things in different ways. So you know, some people might be able to connect to me through music, or maybe it's like through a different medium, and I just like I want to be able to be free in exploring like all mediums. So heaps of stuff coming, man. Heaps of stuff coming.
No. That's cool, bro. We're looking forward to, you know, we're always keen to support and keen to see what you're doing in a creative and artistic space, man, because it's always top quality and it's always innovative and exciting. Keen to jump into some rapid fire question now, bro. Just a little bit of fun, get to know you. I'm gonna shoot some quick questions at you, and you just come back with the first response that enters your head. Okay?
Yeah, we about it, man.
Let's go, G. What was the first CD that you ever bought?
First CD I ever bought with my own money would have been Blueprint 3 and the First Man on the Moon, Kid Cudi.
This is why we bros. This is why we bros. You talk Jigger and Cudi.
Yeah,
the man right here. What's on your phone? What's on your phone background, bro?
It's my I gotta get it up. It's my niece.
Adorable.
Like,
cute.
Yeah, man. She's my little. That's why I do everything I do, man.
Love it. Dream holiday destination if you could go anywhere in the world for a holiday.
I feel like I would want to go to like back to Gopwayak, like where I grew up. I was back up there at the end of last year, and I just felt like I didn't have enough time. So
amazing.
Trying to get back home, you know.
Yeah. What's the worst job that you've ever had?
Oh, I've worked so many jobs, man. Not like the worst job. My first job, like I think I was like 12 or 13 because my sister like moved away from uni, and she worked at like this Chinese restaurant. And it wasn't like bad, but like now that I think back on it, I was like 12 and I was getting like $7 an hour. And like sometimes I'd do like 2-hour shifts and then like walk away with like a $10 note and 2 coins and they were like letting me serve alcohol to people and stuff. But like I look back on that and I'm like, that was so dodgy. But at the same time, like it was the worst with the best. Like it was because I felt like I was stunning, man. Like I was able like I'd work 4 hours, I'd be able to get like my $30 credit for my like prepaid slide phone, man. I was, you know, I thought I was killing it.
Big. What was your favorite subject in school?
I think English. I felt like that was like the gateway into music. Reading different books, poetry, all that stuff kind of hit me. And then actually a really weird one, but when I was in high school, like my final few years for the HSC, I did studies of religion. And I think that was really big because it like I felt like it gave me like a broader understanding of, because the reason that it wasn't like Bible studies or anything. It was like we took like all kind of major religions in the world and like learnt their like lineages and origins. And I felt like that was like a really big like it just like helped better shape my worldview. I felt like of being able to understand like people's perspectives in a different way.
Big. If you could hang out with any cartoon character for a day, who would it be?
Rick. for sure.
Yeah.
Like from Rick and Morty, man.
Yeah,
I'll
that'd be
like
great.
going, like even if we were just like watching like TV, like one of those episodes, or like jumping through the universe or something. I feel like that
International
would be
cable.
wild.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yes, man. Like even if me and Rick just sat down and watched international cable and just like chilled, I would be stoked.
All right, and last quick question, bro. This one's controversial. We ask everyone on AU dollars: pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
100% yes, man. All the way.
You heard it here
All the
first.
way.
Ziggy
Love
Ramo
it.
loves pineapple on pizza. My bro, it has been a blessing to talk to you today. Thank you for your honesty, your vulnerability, and just sharing your story with us. Everything you do on a musical front and an activism front, man, you're an important voice in the country, and we are 100% behind you, my bro. So it's great to talk to you today.
Absolute pleasure, man. And thank you for the constant support and, you know, the community that you built and passing that on to them. Like, you know, I feel like, because at my heart, like I'm just like a music nerd as well, man. Like I grew up just like loving and obsessing over music. So seeing like spaces like this, like coming up in Australia, I think it's so important because it's like trying to, I think, like grow like the scene and like show like the community here, like for what we're trying to do. Because I feel like I started to realize as I kind of like got further on my path and stuff, it's like, yeah, you know, that everyone wants to go and make it overseas and do their thing, but it's also like for me, so the change that I want to see is here, like within my community. So like as much as I want to be successful other places, like I want to make impact in people's lives here. So like the fact that you guys are building a platform and space, it's amazing, man. So keep it up, bro, for sure.
All blessings, bro. I appreciate that, man. We'll link up soon, all right, my bro?
For sure, man.
The way you love the Anzacs, scream and learn to love the blacks the way you love the Anzacs. We can't take it back. We can't take it back. Hey.
This is Ziggy Ramo, and you're watching AU Dollars.